Hello, welcome back to the live stream for another game of the Elite Teams Tournament. Going to start in about a minute. I'm joined by myself, Andy Man, and I'm also joined by Hero.
Hey, how's it going? We are gonna have a great game. And we got Mr. Jack too.
Hello.
So we wait, and we are go when the server opens.
Game should be open.
We're open. Let's go. Right, what do we have then? What do we have? Sky blue, dark green, red, lime green, orange, and purple. That's the order of the teams for today. Lime green. Everyone's in.
These are
Orange
some
off to a
interesting
slow
spawns.
start, are they? Nope. Are they? Maybe?
I don't know. The percents aren't.
Purple off to a very good start.
Purple's got a nice start, like always. They're
Red
bringing themselves back.
Red off to a very good start as well. Gone straight up against dark green. Applied pressure very early on. Cutting underneath lime green. That could be a really big move.
It
Very
looks like
early
it
on.
already
Being
is.
very aggressive.
Oh my goodness. They are going straight in.
Very early on. What else do we have? We have sky blue. Again, going underneath dark green. Going to be very aggressive. And going underneath purple. Very aggressive from sky blue as well.
I don't think all of purple
This might go quite badly for Emma. We're going to see our first death potentially if Boomer spots them. Think they're going to get away? Nope.
That's not going to be trap, is it? No, it was cut.
Boomer
I lied. Trapped. There's Wave.
But I don't think Wave spotted them, but it's probably too late. Oh,
He's still got a bit of time.
Boomer.
He's poor Boomer. That's gonna be a break of the edge there, it looks like.
So what else do we have? We have Orange off to a very slow start. Red flying off like a rocket.
Back.
Welcome
Red already
back.
has a ton of territory, and they're not playing around. They want this tournament.
They mean
Currently
business
tied for the lead.
today after a pretty solid performance in the previous week. Practiced up after yesterday. There was some practice going around yesterday.
Yeah, fun dark green here.
What's going on with dark green? Lagmaster dying early on. It was just his clone, but that wasn't. Wolf Hunter getting an early kill. Is that the first? Yeah.
Interesting base spacing as well. You see lots of people leaving those areas now. Probably for a good reason.
Which area?
Well,
Oh,
look
those
at
areas at the
oranges,
back.
look at
Yeah.
purples, yeah, look at dark greens. That they're all leaving area for some reason. That must be a strategical thing. Let people level up. You know, that's got to be an early strategy that they're just like, well, here we go, here's some area. People can take that when they need it.
I think that from Orange was a bit more than just the standard. Let's leave it because we don't need to capture it.
The
I think
shape was quite telling. It was a big circle with a very, very, very narrow edge going to the border.
Yeah, they were trying to give that to somebody else to level up. Looks like complex.
It was a very leveling heavy.
Whereas purple's more of we don't need to take this yet because there's other more important things.
Yeah, they're doing what they should be doing, which is outside in. We've said that all along.
Yeah.
That's a lot of levels.
And red are double the percent of everybody else besides Sky Blue. Sky Blue shooting up, taking over dark green very early on.
Red have had some really impressive starts on the Elite Games this season.
Yeah, this is looking like it's one of them.
That bullet there.
Is this really the fight we want to see?
It's early. There's not really a fight we do want to see.
Tell you what, I can see a fight we might want to see.
The hill, right?
Certainly not the hill this early on.
Orange going for a little bit of a cliff there. That's unlike them early game. That's completely not in their playbook.
That's new. That's new.
Orange being a little bit maybe aggressive.
Orange aggressive early game?
Question mark.
Purple have filled in their corner, and it didn't grant them much percent.
Well, the kind of team's catching up to red now, still a 4% behind, but they've caught up. It's within touching distance, which is what you need to be.
I think Orange
they
have
don't know that the
upward
middle's
hill
not
to climb.
Yeah.
So did Lime.
Orange doing a great job here. Just to capture this. No one on the other side, though. Yeah, they're not going to capture this anytime soon, I don't think. Level Up playing, long-time player as well. Good to see them are still around.
OG's in the game.
OG, yeah. Very renowned player for their leadership and strategy, especially their strategy.
And now the middle is being filled in.
Viridis isn't getting that.
Oh?
Well, not really anybody.
No, everyone's fearing the middle. They don't want to be targeted later.
Well, it's not quite worth it just yet. It's a waste of time. It's just a nice to have right now. It doesn't mean anything really.
It doesn't mean anything now. Now is all about a percentage. You don't want to be thinking about the cough at all, in my mind.
Yeah, because close enough for touching distance just to get you.
I don't even think you want to be worried about that. Because
I kind of do.
Well, because the thing is, right, if you go out of your way to make sure you're in touching distance, you might have cost yourself percentage, which could be more valuable than the cough. You just don't know.
On the shape of your map, but when the hex map is coming in, you're all archipelagoing to the same point in the center.
I would think so. I think
Viridis have just closed a bit of a gap that does seal more of the southern border of their cough as well. which puts them in a pretty good position to just kind of reinforce that area. You can hold that for 45 minutes, and then when the time comes, you can use that as a bit of a base.
Orange
Move
going in
forward.
after purple.
As we know, the cough is a different beast entirely. It can be won or lost in the last 5 seconds anyway.
So, what are the current standings then?
Well, can I just say that Orange have just completed that little peg that they had? So that's done, signed, sealed, delivered.
Yeah, they are very far behind though, aren't they?
It's not the best start for them or Lime or Dark Green. They're the 3 teams that are lagging a little bit right now. Whereas the rest are going clearly for percentages.
This is worrying if you're Orange. We're at game 7 now. This is game 7. How many more times can you afford to have a below par game?
Say Red are in the best position so far. Look at the area they've got, and look at their base shape as well, just poking into Dark Green.
Totally agree.
And they're good at doing this, we know, and we can see at the bottom they're trying for it as well. I think that might be where your camera wants to shift as well.
Where, sorry?
Their pincering down at Dark Green at the very bottom. Red, Dark Green. Lagmaster's also just been killed by DF. Clearly a battle going on down there.
No one here. Oh,
down.
There.
Down, it's opened up. Look at the minimap, mate.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they're going hard down here.
They've got 4.
DF wasting his
3,
clone.
but a clone. 3 plus a clone. They've got 3 going for that corner.
DF gone builder?
I wouldn't be surprised if he
Is
did.
DF a builder clone? Please tell me he's not. Nah, he's not. Good.
Hype there. They've got
They're going to take over that land really quickly, but they need to watch out.
Got to do it quickly because somebody else is there.
Yeah.
And they have.
That
was
guys, they're nearly at 30%. We started like 30 seconds ago.
It's almost no competition for them right so far.
No, they've got Sky Blue who's at 7.5%.
I mean, facing them directly. Come on, Andy.
Who
they got opposing them so far? They've got Orange taking. Yeah, they've got Orange taking on Verdiscent.
No,
Light Blue aren't in the consideration for opposing them. They're in their own battle with maybe Purple. I saw a few trades going on there, but largely they're probably going to be poking into Dark Green as well. Dark Green looked to be 4%. Say, how many wipes have we had this season?
What's that?
How many wipes have we had this season?
We've had 2 wipes. We were looking at that before. Well, we think 2 wipes. Did we say 3 wipes? Yeah, we think 2 wipes.
I think 2 wipes
we've had this season.
Lime on game 3, 1, 2, or 3. We think it was 3.
I think it was 3.
Last game on game 6. Purple got wiped on last game. Yeah. But we think, are we not heading towards another one here? They're going to get squeezed, surely.
It's looking like we could see a 3rd, which I am pretty confident would be more wipes than we've had in certainly the last 2 seasons, if you only include percentage games. We shall see. I'm still doing a bit of research on that, so not quite finalised that stat yet. Stat Manager's a bit behind on that one. But what I was going to say on Red then is they've got to be very smart here. They're gaining percent. They're very clearly in the lead. Everybody knows it. Everybody can see it on the stream and in the lobby. So what Red needs to be doing right now is thinking, right, let's just assign a few players, keep on getting land off Dark Green, but let's make sure we're reinforcing this. Reinforce this border as strong as we possibly can. Reinforce the left border as strong as we possibly can. Make sure the left side of the base is all strong. Have somebody on this layering. This needs to be much thicker. Make sure this middle is nice and solid. At the moment, this base is looking very weak, and they've got loads of percent for people to attack. This is not looking how you would want to see it. You need it nice and layered, because
We've been through this before, where you just overreach a little bit. It could bite them back. I mean, they have got a builder just back stacking a little bit every now and again. If they continue that through 40 minutes of play, that could work well for them. But if they let up a little bit, then they're going to suffer.
They need to leave this. They need to leave. I would argue they probably need a second player here to doing this. I think they're miles ahead of everybody else. They should be assigning a second player, make sure their base is as solid as humanly possible. And I would also just give a small criticism to this player who seems to be spin building rather than actually layering, which is a more effective method of getting tighter towers and tighter layers. That's what you want to be doing. A bit more of that. Less of the spinning.
There we go. He's listened to you. He's listened to you.
Kind of.
You're never.
So what else? See, this is a bit prettier. A bit, not much. So what else have we got? We got some spots opening up on orange. Look at this. What happened here? Kitty been killed already.
Just looking at dark green, their percentage is dropping really heavily now.
Dropping rapidly.
Red and
They've just gone sub 4%. They've gone from 4.5 to 3.7.
And we are how many minutes in? We are.
It's not just red as well. They're split. They're being attacked by light blue, sky blue as well. There must be. They definitely were, because I saw a chunk being taken off them.
Yeah. Well,
2 players there.
Doesn't look like they're assigning many resources to this guy.
No, so the sky just seemed to be getting away with it scot-free because they're so busy with red.
But it's all just red who are blitzing through, dark green, leaving no prisoners.
It's a chunky base as well. They've done quite well to kind of layer that.
See, this is more what I want to see from, and I know dark green are kind of getting destroyed a little bit here, but that is more what I want to see from the likes of red right now, right? Like, they're in the lead by quite a chunk. This is what they need. Lagmath are doing a great job of just layering and reinforcing this base. This is what tight towers looks like, people. This is better. There's much more what you need to be seeing from the likes of red. I'm not going to go all the way over there to compare, but you see the difference.
If dark green get wiped, it's not going to be at Lagmaster's fault at this stage. He's doing a fucking great job here.
Yeah, big credit to that, because
that's contrary to previous comments that have been held in other seasons.
Because it's mind games. It's mind games. Because if you've got a base that looks like this and is all spun, you're intimidated straight away. You're intimidated. Whereas if you've got a mess that looks a bit like this, not that off-putting. Whereas this, now that's scary.
Psychologically, I don't think it's going to have much of an effect on red because they're there now.
Not now. It's too late.
But
in general,
it's still definitely going to have an impact because it's going to slow them down so much.
Yeah.
Massively. And that's going to impact red because they've got bugger all on the left border. And if Viridescent decide to change their strategy a little bit, then red have got a big problem going on because they've got one builder back building. That's it.
I think red are being a bit naive here.
A little bit. They're hedging not hedging the bets. They're going all out. They're going all in.
They're going all in, but I think you're so far ahead, you don't need to go all in. You can assign 6 players to this attack, leave 2 other people to layer and properly reinforce your base. I can see they've only assigned 1, which I think is better than nothing, but I think it's a bit short.
I think the test will be, do they maintain a 28 or do they drop down to the 15% mark by the end of the game?
I don't think they'll drop down I don't think they'll drop that far. I can see them dropping to maybe 23, 24, something like that.
Well, if you're going to go this far in percentage this early, you kind of need to make sure that you're capable of maintaining a decent 20 to 25%.
Mm.
That's where you're comfortable and you're in first, second place, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Anything could happen, obviously, but that's where the average is going to tell you that you're doing quite well. If you start getting lower than that, then maybe your strategy of all out isn't quite working well. Time will tell on this one, though. So far, so good.
Yeah, they've definitely been slowed down to this tight layers. Slowed them right down. Makes a big difference.
Yeah, they're not able to do
So,
their usual strategy either of large kind of pincers, big
no,
borders.
they're
They're
trying.
do really small borders.
They are trying. But
Meanwhile,
we look up here, we see some big movements going on over here with Wave trying to get chunks off Purple. Purple already been knocked down to 14%. Where are they now? They are second bottom, fifth.
buildings waiting. Yeah.
Sorry, they're sixth. Orange are fifth. It's not looking good for those two top teams, is it?
Mhm.
Are those two are in first and second, aren't they?
They are.
No,
So
they're not. Sorry, first.
Going-
Yeah, first and second. Sorry.
first and slash third. So orange are first, joint
Yeah.
with red so far going into
Joint
this
with
game.
red.
Purple with 25 points of third. Sky's fourth with 24 points. Lime fifth with 18 points, and dark green 12 points sixth.
Mm-hmm.
Icon prepped.
Are Sky
Good job.
spotting this?
Dark green now below 3%.
Wow. Below 3. That's
18 minutes gone. But we're going to see the third wipe of the season. 7 games in.
Darkness really.
This would be
starting to
really early
confirm my
for a wipe.
fears. What do you say, Hero?
This would be really early for a wipe, but
It's
Yeah.
extremely early.
Well, I think they'll probably, if they're going to be wiped, it's probably not going to be for another 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, but it's looking
It will
that
still
way.
be early, but
The cards are certainly on the table.
yeah, it's going to be in the second half of the game still.
Can we see a bit more of the Viridescent? Let's see what's going on over there.
Yes. That's lime. Yeah, I had to figure that out for a second.
Yeah, that one. That colour.
Thanks.
oh, that's a mini fight right there. They're getting into picks with orange,
No,
but
we
Well,
can't.
let's go back there. Why not?
yeah.
Like
There
a random
we go.
enough. I didn't get it.
We're just gonna scroll.
Spectator view
Roll
be
like
like
a peasant. Right, what do we got? We've got 2 orange players. He doing great job of holding that against whoever
Quite
player
close.
pluses.
They're quite close, but orange look to be losing
They do
area
look like they're
rather than
losing,
gaining.
which is not. They've definitely lost. They were up to about. They've only lost about 0.2%, but they've lost in the last 2 minutes.
Just seems to be one of those where if your aim of the game is to take area and percentage, then what's your game plan now? Because you're at a stalemate. So how do you break the stalemate in order to gain percentage? That's part of the challenge of elites.
It is. It's what we said. We said they had a slow start, and we also should say that they've got quite a difficult spawn against one side purple, the other side to the lime green, who have looked better in recent weeks. It's probably the hardest spawn today. So yeah, but they were a bit slow off the mark, weren't they?
Yeah. Lime campaigning to kind of take on the orange and purple, but kind of forgetting a bit about the fact that red are leading the season right now, joint place.
Yeah. And if red do get this and the standings remain the same,
and they're clear winners,
then everybody else is in big trouble. There's not many games left. This is game 7. There's 10 games. And I'll tell you what, the trajectories don't look good for the rest of the teams. Orange and Orange have been kind of in like damage limitation for the last few games. Last 3 games maybe have kind of all been damage limitation for Orange.
went a bit downhill for them. They're obviously the top tier team. We'd expect a bit more from them in some of the games. We expect some of the games won't go their way, but the pattern is starting to kind of devolve for them. Maybe their confidence has been knocked a bit. Who knows?
I think what we've always said about Orange, and I don't think our statement has ever really changed, is the fact that they are slow, they are methodical, and you're going to find it very difficult to push them, right? I don't think we've ever changed that. They'll more or less always win in a one-on-one fight. But they have one of the requirements of that is they need to always be there or thereabouts with the teams that are winning, because they are not going to gain anywhere near as much as a team like Red, who's very aggressive and very front-footed. So their start has to be good. If their start isn't good, then they're going to struggle.
Sorry, Andy. Can I just have a look at
We
Sky Blue's minimap?
absolutely can.
Something's gone drastically wrong there.
It doesn't look like there's much going on, actually.
Something went drastic.
I think Sky Blue realised that.
Or did they just not back build enough?
They just didn't back build at all.
Oh
Wow.
my gosh.
What a mistake.
Kitty had been going after that for a little while.
Yeah, I think it's just been like, well, you guys are nowhere near. 3 layers? No, thank you very much. I'll have that.
Yeah. Now it's just
going downwards.
It's going even. It's going slowly. But it is going.
Red has taken the corner.
Still,
oh my gosh.
We still see Sky Blue's turf just getting popped open, and it's percentages that they lose each time there.
Should we keep an eye on this?
It's a lot. There is 0 back building gone on there. That is dangerous as hell.
Yeah, they are there and they are tentative to it, which is good.
They've got a large area.
Going on.
They've got a very large area.
They've
recognised
their mistake and they're dealing. They've got loads of players. They're back building. They're reinforcing. They're layering. It's looking good. Look, they've got hybrids. They've got hybrids layering. I think they've got this under control.
I think they've got Red to contend with
later. Yeah.
No, I think right about now.
Do you reckon? I don't think so. I think Red.
Look at the borders. I don't think they're going to be concerned about why are they going to be bothered about the darkness? They're not worried about wiping teams. They're worried about taking area. Red are smarter than that, surely.
I think Red don't need to go after Sky Blue. They're 10% ahead. No need. Why create another enemy? They've had lots of success dealing with dark green. Keep doing it.
Where you've still got dark green pushing into that as well. You're squeezing an enemy into this tight packed area. You've got 8 players now to contend with. Not a great start.
No. Shall we keep an eye on what's going on at Orange? So, as I was saying earlier, before a bunch of stuff happened at Sky Blue, they need a good start, because they're not going to gain as much percent as other teams to contend with it. But if they're there or thereabouts, you would back them to probably win, because that is just how good they are when they're just pushing and grinding percentages. That's just how good they are. But they lack in their offensive abilities. Their offensive abilities and their abilities to get kills is not good enough. They've had 1 kill so far this game against Kitty, and that's it. Their ability to get kills is small.
What you really need to see from Orange is the best early expansion that they can possibly gain, and they failed on that on this particular game.
Yeah.
You need to be seeing at least, the 17% mark or something like that from a very early standpoint, so that you can springboard from that and go from 17 to 20 to 22 to 25 and kind of chip up from there. Because that's their game plan. They chip up very slowly, but surely they chip up.
Mm-hmm.
And it works for them more often than not. I wouldn't say that it's out the realms that they'd end up on 18 to 20% by the end of this game.
I would expect them to.
Yeah, but that's a
Not
great
enough.
improvement. It's a great improvement from 15%. It's just not enough to take first place.
It's not enough.
You said that.
Especially when you're looking at Red.
Yeah.
You said dark green wasn't very worried. You said Red wasn't very worried about wiping dark green. I'd like to oppose that real quick.
Red wasn't. Hold on, I didn't say that. You're putting words in my mouth.
I said that.
Oh, Mr. Jack.
I don't think. What are they worried about? Why would you go for dark green? And yeah, I get that there's 8 players there, and you want to kind of get rid of them and put them in other people's areas.
I think it's more that. Look at the percentages. They're 11%. ahead of
got-
Sky Blue. Just
if-
assign 6 players to wipe them, deal with whatever you can, and then just assign the other 2 players to
6 players
reinforce
to
your whole
wipe it,
base.
and that's fine. Yeah, that's easier said than done. You're pushing them back, but you're wasting 15 minutes doing that. In my eyes, it'll be way more better if they just started attacking like Sky Blue now.
I would
On the
argue the best thing they can do right now is attack no one and just reinforce the whole base. That's what I would argue. It's all messy. And this is reinforced, but like they can do better. When you're 11% ahead, you need to do better than this. It needs to be thick. This is more like it.
So what's
It is
the optimal
reinforced, but
cutoff then? Because we all had this as a team. What's the growth cutoff where you're like, okay, this is enough percent for us to take number
you're
one
11% ahead. That's more than enough. I would say
That's never enough, right?
that is
Because anything can
way
change.
past
We
it.
are also, though, less than half an hour into the game, Andy.
No, I completely get
Anything
that.
can
And if the situation changes, you can adapt. You can
But
adapt
it's too late to
appropriately.
adapt by that. No, I feel like it's way too late to adapt by then. I think there should always be a minimum and a maximum kind of area that you should be targeting. When you've got that maximum, you should stop and you should go and reinforce and retain the area that you've got, which some teams aren't good at doing.
I think they've reached 30% in most games is going to win you. Is going to
I
win you
agree.
the game.
30% is going to be enough.
And they're pushing on 32 now. I think.
Do you think that they're going to be caught short by doing that? Because it would be a first for me that a team goes hell to the leather, all in, and starts gaining. I mean, when we get to start getting to the 35% territory.
Here we go.
Here does the wipe commence.
No. I'm invested.
Cloak doing a great job there. Careful of Sky
wipe
Blue.
commences.
Making sure they're not getting involved in this. This is our territory, is what Red is saying.
When we start getting to the 35% territory, that's when you're way overreaching.
No, I agree. I just think perspective is important. And unless something really drastic happens, nobody's going to get anywhere near them. So I would be thinking, assign a few players to just deal with dark green, try and chip at them continuously, and just continue to gain area, but reinforce your whole base like crazy.
Definitely don't disagree with that. I definitely don't. It'll be very interesting to see.
I would just chill out a little bit more.
Yeah, in half an hour's time, it'll be definitely great to see what happens and how that kind of prevails.
Yeah.
Viridescent, some lime dying now by orange. Orange getting a bit of a head up. So we've got some pops going off. We've got some purples going. Some area there. We've got some orange area being taken, being gained even. And of course, we've got the darkness down from what was 4%. And they've just dropped a whole percent. They've gone to 0.7.
Yeah.
They are so squeezed right now, and it's not getting any easier for them.
No. I think
that's what's left of their team.
They've slowed it down as much as they can, but the deaths have just been a bit too much to comprehend. Been a bit too much to deal with.
Hero.
This is the full price.
Hero, if you were team captain of Dark Green right now, what's your strategy? How do you deal with this?
First strategy would be to kill Mr. T.
Well, that's Mr. T's trapped. I don't think he's getting out of here.
He's definitely not getting out.
Yeah. He's trying to get as far away from his team as possible so that he doesn't create a big...
to Mr. T, if you ask me.
But that's a really smart play by him. He went away from his team so that the blast radius wasn't big enough to wipe them. I commend that.
How do you recover as Team Dark Green from here? How do you kind of... What's your strategy? How do you recover? What do you do?
I'd say
you've got 1 point at least.
Yeah, I'd say try to leave a few try to leave a few at that specific fight, but have some try to dig into the team that's surrounding you. That isn't red, but
this is one death away from guys. We're one death.
In this situation, I'd say dig into Sky Blue. This is...
You can see they're trying to do that, but also try and defend from the front. I don't think they're trying hard enough to dig into Sky Blue. There's a lot of area, if you dig a little bit deeper,
Thing is, Sky Blue are there. I think they're trying.
There's only one or two
Yeah.
there.
There's one.
If you
There's
try it
one
as a
Sky
team,
Blue,
you
but
can-
these guys are all low level. These guys have died quite a few times.
Yeah, I know.
Dark green.
It's never going to be easy. I get that.
I don't think there's much they can do. They're trying their best, but this is
Well,
one
this
or
is
two
why I'm
deaths
asking the
away.
question. What do you do in that situation? You know, it's a difficult situation.
I've said this before. I think sometimes in Fly you get to a point where there is nothing you can do. The mistakes have already been made, and it's too late.
You should have called the Alamo a time before as well. You know, your backup
too
plan
late.
should have been implemented. By now, it's too late. What do you do in that situation? Andy, go.
In this situation, well,
There we go.
What situation? They can't even spawn.
yeah,
This
isn't
is too small an area. They can't spawn.
Yeah,
And
this
now
isn't.
Sky Blue and Red are focusing Dark Green.
I would leave that person. Well, no, actually, Shui's doing a good job. What Shui's doing there is just making sure that they stay inside Sky Blue's base. Leave that. Make sure they are causing problems for Sky Blue.
Push them up.
They are causing problems.
They're doing that.
Oh, that's a bad move from Exort.
That
Will not
area
bring the
is now
rest of
white.
Yeah, Bad Zane spinning at them. Red spinning back.
There it is, the last remnants
This is it,
of
guys.
this Dark Green team.
I think it's probably reasonable to say that they're gonna go.
Wait.
It was reasonable to say in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. T! Going for a little
people.
something there.
I've got to say, I'm offended by
Because-
players that name themselves Mister as a prefix.
Well, that's going to be awkward.
Why?
They're going to be doing that for a while. We'll check in with them in 10 minutes.
What? Naming themselves Mister as a prefix?
No, Mr. T, they're inside red. And they've got TP.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll check in with them in 10 minutes.
Wow. Wow. We'll pay attention to the death.
Oh,
but look at that. Banzos. And it's out. It's out. That's game. They're wiped. And they have one player
No, Mr.
remaining.
T is still there, I think.
Oh, where is he? He's going in.
I think they'll spot this.
I think they already have. If you go down, oh my gosh!
Hey, look, I'm doing my best.
Cereal.
I didn't think they
Hear
have.
me now. You've got to fix.
Jet's on it.
Jet's found it. Jet's found
He's seen it. He's spotted something.
He
Let's
smells
go to
it.
Mr. T. Let's
He
find
smells
Mr.
it.
T.
He smells
He's
it.
there.
His
He's
eyes are
there.
lighting
It
up.
is. It's out.
And,
it's game.
TP. He knows.
Oh, he's
he
gone
knows.
Oh,
He's
okay.
calling the rest of his players. They've got a problem. This is why you've got to clean your base up. He's going to call some more players down.
And he has.
Yep.
Real
there
one.
it is. This is it. The demise and
bye-bye.
their wipe.
The
That
third wipe of the
Back to
season
it.
has been executed. Right, Mr. Jack, what do you do now?
Right, as dark green or red?
You're red. Well, dark green done. There's nothing they can do. But what do you do now if you're red?
Well, no, they can do something. But if I'm red, I quickly clear up. I quickly reinforce. I don't think I do much against the light blue. I think I take advantage of light green.
I think. Well, no, I
No, I think
think
absolutely. No, I'm going to reconsider this completely.
Okay,
They're
go on.
percentage-wise way ahead.
Yeah.
So they've got a very good built base. It's quite back-built as well. Whether you like it or not, Andy, you know it is.
Yeah, it is. It is. But I just think they can do better.
I think it's time for a bit of a cough action. Get there.
That's what I was
thereabouts.
thinking. I think they've got two options here. The last thing I would do is touch lime green or sky blue because the thing. What's that?
7 points, not 6.
Yeah, no, agreed. But I think the last thing that they should be doing right now is attacking Sky Blue and Lime because you want Lime and Sky Blue to both come ahead of Orange and Purple, respectively. So you don't want to be pushing those guys down. You want to be pulling those guys up if you can. So you don't really want to be attacking those guys.
If you look at the structure of their borders as well, it's not terrible. They've probably got the same amount of area to cover as any other team, but it's quite linear.
They are going to the cough. They've only got 2 players though, so I don't know where the rest of their team is. Yeah, see, you got Mimes back building.
Which
Just
he
in
has been
case they
doing.
get TP'd.
You got to give a bit of a clap about that. He's just dedicated to doing that.
Yeah.
It's his
They're
job, and he's doing well.
Being a bit of a free roam. Cloak looks like they're heading towards the center for the cough.
Oh yeah, look at that. Look at where they're going. They're going directly up.
You've got to.
It's the only real option. Assign players to reinforce your base and let the rest go for a cough push.
You go right up there, exactly where they're going, right up between the 2 teams. You cut them all off, and then you cut right down in between Lime and come back on your base. You secure that area in what? How long are we now? 37 minutes into the game? Nice. Then that secures basically 7 points in my mind. It's theirs to lose. However, we saw this last game where they were leading, they had the cough, and they kind of threw it away. Are they going to do the same this game?
They still managed to get 3rd place, but I think was it 3rd place or was it 2nd? I think they managed to get 2nd. Or was it 3rd? I think it was 2nd.
2nd place, 5 points, but they lost the cough as well.
They lost a lot of percent, and they threw away 1st place.
And the cough as well. So
no, they held the cough, didn't they?
No, they didn't.
So they.
Purple Lime got the cough last.
I think I'm thinking of the game before that.
You wouldn't be, because Purple got the cough then. They got the cough on game 4.
I'm thinking of game 4. Okay.
You're
looking at the path.
Yeah,
that's a big kill. OG.
That's a devastating spike there, but now they just have to take advantage.
And Lime Green are now in trouble.
And now
not in trouble of being wiped, but they're at the point now where they don't. It's very reinforced up here. Very reinforced.
Oh wow.
SW3's been busy, but down here it's a little bit weaker. Wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot ball. Oh my god. This is more, just to put it into perspective about that crappy building at Red, this is more what I'm expecting from Red. When you're that far ahead, this is what I expect. You get what I mean? That's more what I expect. When you're 11% ahead, that's it. That's what I want to see. I get they've got not as much area to cover, but you can assign more players to do it.
Oh, are they going for a pinch here? It looks like they were.
They're just about to close that off. They've closed it off. Orange are gaining. They're up to, it'll be 17.5. And they're probably eyeing up 2nd place in this game. You would think, and maybe they can even push for the cough at the end. Get joint first. Potentially, that's probably what you'd be thinking if you're Orange. Ideal situation from here. Get 2nd place in terms of percent. Get the cough, and again, damage limitation. Don't let Red get any further ahead.
I think Lime's got a bad strategy going on right now.
Do you want to elaborate?
See that Red have chipped up very early on, and yet you're devoting all of your resource and all of your time to attack Orange and none of Red. And that kind of goes against exactly what their team spokesman, at least, is advocating for. You can see one dark green guy is in as well.
I think we should also say, though, that SW3 isn't the captain of the team, right?
No.
They aren't the vice captain of the team.
Very vocal,
either. They are very vocal, but equally, I think it's important to say, if it doesn't come from the captain or the vice captain, then I think we shouldn't ignore it. But
no, absolutely no.
It's equally not.
No. I'm going to shoot that down straight away. If you are allowing one of your players to just be that vocal and that discriminative against other teams as a team captain, then you are advocating for it.
No, I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing, but what I'm saying is I'm saying that I wouldn't expect that to be their strategy in game.
Absolutely not. But nobody expected whatever SW3 spouting to be a strategy. it's kind of like a mind game that is
Oh no,
portraying
100%.
inside the
If
server.
there's a hill
No,
fight,
And
then it's only
if the
40
captain
minutes in.
advocates that, then the captain allows that to happen.
No, I 100% agree. I 100% agree. But equally, the strategy in game is going to come from the captain and from the vice captain.
And yet,
Outside
the
of
strategy
games, it's mind
isn't kind of
games.
working. You know,
It's
they're
not
still
working. But equally, they've not done what SW3 was saying, which would have been to switch. And now they're being applied pressure from red. And now this is beginning to look very bad for Lime. You've got the top two teams up against you. And what they might actually be coincidentally doing, and unfortunately, if you're red, there's no way you can know this. It's just one of the advantages that we have. By attacking Lime, they're actually giving Orange the chance to catch up to second place.
is gonna be where either red lose.
Oh, there was a pop.
There was
Right when you left.
Of course, there was
We saw
triple
Dark
pop,
Green Death.
quadruple pop, DF with a quadruple kill.
It's going
Beautiful
well in
stuff.
red's favor.
Mime's just probably getting that thing, which is, to be honest, has bugged me for a little bit, cleaning up the base.
It's hard to call this luck.
That's the thing, right? We said, what did we say before? We said that Orange struggled to get kills. They've had one kill against Lime Green against OG, and then another kill there. And, it's been like one-off kills, right? And then Red come in, 2 minutes of fighting, and they get a quadruple kill. I don't think it's a coincidence. I'm just saying. But look at this. Look at what they're doing. They're giving Orange are steaming through and they're getting closer to Red. This is going to get spicy. Hope you're ready for this.
This is going to be a hill fight, and I want to see one. I want to see a big hill fight like we saw in earlier games. And
well, we said last game that red almost had the perfect game last game. They threw it away last kind of minute. They almost had the perfect game last game. It was very close to my perfect game of every season so far. Could this be it?
It looks like it. Based on what we've
They're doing
seen
what they
so
need
far,
to do. They're doing what they need to do.
They're doing everything right,
don't think
and
this has
everything's
been
going
perfect.
towards them as well.
This hasn't been the perfect game.
No, I don't think it's been the perfect game. I think
Well,
last game, if they
but-
would have succeeded on the last game, that would have been my perfect game ever.
Yeah. I still criticize. I think did I criticize the layering? I still think I criticized the layering.
You'll criticize anything, mate, if you had the chance.
I absolutely would. I absolutely would.
we're seeing this. Red's getting chippy with Orange already, even though they don't. They barely share a border.
Yeah,
and now they're
that's
just going for
That's a
Orange.
bit bizarre, that. Would you do that if you were Red?
I don't know, but I mean, Red are playing it really smartly. They're gonna do what they want to do here, and just based off of how they're standing right now, they've got ample room to do so. They are.
Well, they're not
far in the
backing
lead.
down either. They're going after them.
Whoa! Okay, this is not something I thought I would see here.
Was he just going after some area in the background?
He doesn't even have any reload speed, bro.
I think at this point, from Red's perspective, this might as well be charity. They don't care. Not that they've spotted it, but they've equally got enough percent that it might as well be charity. I mean, they're 15% ahead of second place. That's insane. The gap between second place is nearly as much as Orange's entire base. Put that into perspective. And Purple are getting in on the action. We've got 15 minutes remaining.
We're seeing an early hill fight looming in.
A little bit. It's looking very weak from the top, though. We'd be focusing up here, that's for sure. Looking very weak from the top.
Lime can't do anything. They're way cut off from that base, and there are only two teams that can really eat into that land, and that's Orange and Purple. Sky Blue from the right, they can't really do anything unless they get like a huge dig. But you know, do they really want to do that? Do they really think they're going to?
Mr. Jack, right, I'm going to throw out a hypothesis, and I'm going to throw out a hypothesis. Tell me what you think, okay?
Okay.
Do you think Red pushed all the way up here, not for the cough, but actually to attack Orange?
I like it.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I completely like it. If you're going to go for the cough, why the hell not go further? Why would you then sit back and just try and reinforce something that's already reinforced rather than go further when you've got the opportunity to do so? Why would you sit back and relax?
Exactly, they're knocking out two birds with one stone here by taking the hill and then pushing Orange.
The counter to that would be that there's 13 minutes to go, you've got a hell of a lot of border to cover, and that at any point, any team could switch on your border, and you've got to re-switch to them. They're gambling right now. Is it worth the gamble? I can't answer that question.
I don't know. I one thing that I will say though, I like it. I like it. I like it a
do
lot.
like it.
I think it's imaginative and it's clever.
They're not just digging upwards right now, people. They're pincering. They've got a game plan. They know where the direction is taking them.
What I will say though is they need to push Orange below Purple, and that's going to be quite a difficult task.
Well, that's their secondary objective, and that, to me, that's where they're failing right now. Yeah, we can give them as much credit as we want. It's a very, very brilliant game. Nobody can take that away from them. So far, they're in first place. They've got the cough. They've succeeded. Albeit, there's 10 minutes to go. Anything can change. But their attention should have been right now. Right, we are so far ahead. How do we now secure the season and not just the game?
Mm-hmm.
And that means eating into your opponent's territory. And let's face it, their opponents right now are Orange, 26 points, Purple, 25 points, Sky, 24 points. So they need to really be disrupting those teams. I don't think they've utilized this game to do that, but their primary objective is to win the game. It's kind of secondary to think on those kind of levels. It should have been, if they're this strong and they're oozing the confidence they are clearly oozing, they should probably start planning for what they do when they clearly win.
I agree, but we've given Red a lot of airtime this game, and I know we all want to watch Orange view Red, but we should probably have a look and see what's going on at Purple.
No,
Purple have been at this mark all game and have gained nothing.
Oh,
whoa!
Hello.
Oh, they're going for the teepee dig.
It was kind of bad timing to get that on stream.
Caught in 4K.
Caught in 4K. Well, not quite 4K, but
Well,
definitely
no.
caught. Bad timing by me. I apologise, Purple, but you know, unfortunate.
it's the luck of the draw.
It's the luck of the draw. It's looking like Purple do not want Orange on that second place. Or
They're
third
going to
place.
try. They're trying, and now Orange are obviously going to hear what we're saying and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, most of Purple I thought were on Sky Blue earlier.
Wow.
Have they
It
switched
looks like
objectives?
it. It looks like they've kind of switched, yeah.
Can we just clarify that there's no way of us knowing that was happening?
No.
Zero way.
I haven't really looked at any other team today that much, so let's look at something else.
Oh, they're going for a hill push.
They are going for the hill as well. Are they? Yeah. Are they?
How many teams are going for Operation Storm the Hill?
They kind of are. I don't know what they're doing here, but
Sky
making it a
Blue
bit thicker, I think. Red haven't noticed. Wolf Hunter's AFK. They've been AFK for a while. They've not. Red haven't noticed.
One person. All it takes is one person.
Now they've noticed.
And now they're deciding to
panic. Panic ensues.
Too late now. They're a bit too close. They're going to take a point off you if you don't react to this. Now it's time to go, you know what? Our attack into orange hasn't done what we wanted it to do. Let's start repositioning. This is where they come back.
You've distracted red. You've distracted orange. You've taken about 0.5% off them.
Take it away. It's gone. Alleviate that plan. Now it's time to fight Sky Blue and secure that one area.
This is where that plan might have come in to harm them.
9 minutes to go. You don't think you're going to lose that much area now? Given that how the percentages are, what, 13, 14?
Asterisk looking, I'm very on the edge there.
Yeah, I'm not confident about that.
No.
I take it a different
look at this, they're timing their bullet stacks. They're timing their superpowers together.
Red are good at doing. We have clear strategies on this.
Yeah.
This is a hill fight I've wanted to see for a few games now, but
I'll be honest, I really want to switch and watch that teledig, I'll be honest.
It's nice to see that there's a bit of a disparity going on. They're trying to... Oh, it didn't quite work out. Bad Zane got there first.
They're about to open it. It's open. The hill is currently taken by nobody. It's surrounded by red, but it's taken by no one.
8 minutes to go as well. This is where we say the hill needs to be taken a bit earlier when it's appropriate to do so.
And this is
some teams are saying...
Oh, but there goes Golden Nugget. We see purple bullets flying in from the top.
So red are going to be under a huge amount of stress here. I think it's a given that red have won this game on percentage. I think it's very unlikely they're going to lose this now.
I think this is where the orange strategy wasn't probably not optimal, because what they've done is they've not managed to reinforce their base as much as they could have, and have left themselves with a bit of a difficult fight against Sky Blue when they could have made this a lot easier for themselves.
I don't even think orange can come back from this now. I think it's too late.
Asterisk is being pushed.
Yeah, I don't think orange can catch up to Sky Blue, which is probably maybe what red were looking at, and they've done that, but equally it might have cost them a point themselves.
Unless purple start attacking Sky Blue and then orange gain some area somewhere else, which they are doing, by the way. Orange have just stacked up by a whole %.
Yeah. But you know what they say, high risk, high reward.
Yeah, this is Alamo time. This is where you need the points.
Red
are no longer your competition.
Can I go away and see how that teledig's going, please? Am I okay to do that?
I think we've got some time. We've got some time. We can do that.
Look at the open base there.
It's going to be caught so quick. It's way too early.
Oh no! Were they trying to open the base up?
They were.
Well, they
were trying to open it up for dark green, maybe. Oh, what a waste! What a waste!
I'm so glad we saw the beginning and the end of that. At least.
Yeah, what a waste! But look at this; they're all going into orange now.
Right. So purple have decided orange is they're gonna.
It was a distraction.
We'll call it a distraction. It should have been so much more. It should have been so much more.
They're going for second.
I wonder. We'll have to get the timings on that.
Second. Hero, they can't go for second.
Yeah, they go for third place.
Well, they're going for third, but at least that's something.
If they're going for second, you have to go into the Sky Blue.
I wonder if that was because we caught it on stream and they just realised we caught it on stream, so decided to open it up before they got caught.
Or whether orange were there ready and waiting. It's about this time.
I don't know.
4 minutes ago, is it? 4? 5?
5 minutes ago, yeah.
5, yeah.
Here it is. 3 teams here. We see 3 teams.
Which is where red should be looking for teledigs as well.
Be quite disappointing if red don't get the cough here. They had a good opportunity to expand that base. They chose not to. They chose to dig into orange instead.
Yeah, and they're getting pushed back by Sky Blue here. Sky Blue are gaining. But if we're being honest, where's Sky Blue in the ranking? They probably don't want Sky Blue to get this either, to be honest.
No, because Sky Blue are 24th.
Yeah,
24 points.
They're not that far behind. They probably don't want Sky Blue to get this either.
So if you put red at plus 6 points, that puts them at...
Oh, asterisk again, so close.
He's being pushed 32. Full speed all directions.
If you then put Sky plus 5 points plus the cough, that puts them at 30. So they're still only... If this goes the way it's looking right now, and Sky get the cough, then they're 2 points behind red.
Still could be 2 points behind. Yeah.
It's not that big a disparity.
Lime green players dropping against orange.
I think
Cloak is disconnected, and now we have Fun Bup.
Polter's being a bit ambitious there.
That's a really bad timing to lose one of your builders now. That's horrendous timing. In the crucial minutes of the game.
Mm.
Are they going to take this? Are they going to take this?
I think they're going to take it.
4 minutes
Oh my
to go.
goodness.
It's still way too
Asterix
early.
being aggressive has... Is this actually going to work out? Yes, it will! They need to
Asterix
reinforce
has
this.
so much speed. How much speed
They
they've
need
got.
to
So
reinforce this
early,
really
though.
quickly, though. There's only a few towers holding that hill.
One bullet can change this, so it's way too early. Don't forget, you'll need a whole screen's worth of reinforcements to be able to suffice for a bullet against you.
Now they're bringing Fussy Goat into the fight for Lime.
So where are other teams in this? Because I can see Orange are taking Purple in this now. Orange have just overtaken Purple as well. Look at the North.
No, orange have always been above purple. Purple are catching up to orange. Orange have dropped a percentage and a half to purple. I'm
Look
pretty
at the
sure.
pressure.
Who's attacking up North? Is it Orange
Look
or is it
at
Purple?
the pressure.
Purple. We saw purple were going all out and do the teledig. Oh, Asterix! Oh my god, they got shield there.
It's broken.
Well, if that's the
And
case,
now they're bringing everyone into the fight. This
Oh,
is
so
what I
close.
wanted to see.
whoa,
Even though
so close.
It'll only be here for 2 minutes. This is the big hill fight we always have wanted.
I think there's going to be a death here.
Is there going to be a take for the
neutral.
hill?
I don't think anybody's going to be able to take this in the end.
There's two. Oh, there we go.
Wow,
there's
there goes Light
Asterix.
Blue.
It was coming. It was coming.
The pop from Shooty
They can recover though.
creates
They can
time
get to where
and
they
ample
were.
resource. There's Sunday school,
They're not
but
worried about
he is in
percentage.
panic.
They just
War
need to
is
let it
stuck,
now.
and he is dead.
Wave.
Are there any builders left? Wave is down, but
Now
Asterix
Red
is
are
coming
moved
back. We
right
need to
in.
see.
And all of a
Asterix
sudden,
regaining all that percentage for the team.
Out of
Keeping them in there.
nowhere, Lime Green with one player to secure that and get them put forward. The rest of them have come to reinforce to a degree. At least half the team have.
60-second warning.
Here it is.
Purple
50
coming
seconds
from the
left.
north.
Big fight.
Red
Pressure
should be
going on
focusing
everywhere.
on the cough right here. They might be able to sneak it if they can try, but
Red
not
let Sky Blue back in there, if you ask me.
I agree. Mime's trying, but not getting enough assistance.
Oh, there's going to be a death.
All or
Oh,
nothing. It doesn't
that was
matter
so
about
close.
deaths. You just got to go.
30 seconds. Everyone's down to the wire. We need to see something big happen here if anyone's going to take the hill. But is anything big going to
It's
happen? We
neutral.
need to see
I
a
don't
big
think so.
death.
Is
It's
your
gonna
guy
be-
golden nugget.
Down to the wire.
Purple so
Asterix.
close on orange. Look at purple.
It's so close.
Everyone's getting right next to the hill. But will it be taken?
Orange
There needs
repaired.
to be a move right now. But it's not going to happen. There is no hill. And there is no extra points. Wow.
Can you keep that percentage up on stream for a little bit?
Certainly can.
So I can do some maths.
I think that, look, if you're red, you would rather nobody have it than somebody else. If you're sky blue, you should be very happy with your performance. Very happy. You've gained ground on the likes of orange and purple, and you've not lost too much against red. You're still within touching distance.
Keep in mind, though, that they also prevented anyone from getting the hill. Because they went in there. They took it for a small second.
My very
even
quick
though they
maths. My very quick maths says they are red are 2 points ahead of orange. I think.
Yeah, you are correct.
Yeah. Sky blue 3 points, and purple 4 points.
Sky Blue were on 24. They've +5 here. So I'm on 29. But Orange are on 30 by my math.
Yeah, so orange are 2 points behind, purple are 4 points behind.
Purple look to be on 30?
No,
No, they were fourth.
29. 29?
4 plus 3, 28.
That's 4 behind.
Yeah, so that was right. Yeah, so they were so they're 4 behind. So yeah, so the order goes: red are in first, orange are second with 2 points behind, sky blue are in third, 3 points behind, and purple are in fourth, 4 points behind, and then trailing quite far behind lime and dark green. Oh, well, that was fun, wasn't it?
I'd like to go
Definitely
back.
close.
I'd like to go back to a topic that you mentioned earlier and from last game. Red's perfect game. Do you think that they accomplished that?
No, I don't think so. I think
The only thing that they needed for that
they never
was the
really
milk.
got pushed. So from Red's point of view, they'll be ecstatic because they never really got challenged in terms of percentages. It never really happened for them. So they had quite an easy run of this. And then secondly, they didn't get the call. And maybe they made a mistake not going for orange. Going for orange. Maybe they didn't. I don't know. It's hard to say. Maybe it cost them the cough. It's hard to say, but yeah, it definitely wasn't a perfect game. But they should be very happy with the game that they had. That is for sure. Very disappointing from purple though. They didn't really gain any. They gained what, maybe 2% on early game. Sound about right?
They've got to be asking some questions as to what's happened the last couple of games or so. They got wiped last.
Would
They've not
that have
done
been
great this one.
Would that have been the difference maker between fourth and third place for purple? Would this have been the difference maker? Was that it? Were they one tower away?
Potentially.
Because I mean, that on its own isn't enough, but you have to remember that's a double points. That's a double percentage swing because it's losing from orange and going to purple. I reckon that would have been enough, maybe.
Well, that would have put orange in what, plus 3 points, purple plus 4. It would have definitely put them at least even.
Small differences would have put them 3 points behind. We would have had a 3-way tie for second place. Very close.
It's so close though. I mean, you can't call the season so far.
No, only 2 points in it. With how many games to go? 3 games to
3
go.
games to go.
Anything can happen.
Game 7.
Anyone's still in it. Dark blue and sorry, not dark blue. Dark green and lime green are probably out of it. I think it's safe to say. But outside of them, anybody's game. I think anybody's game. Right. So, shall we go through? Shall we go through the teams? Shall we start off with dark green? Who wants to go for that one? Mr. Jack?
I'll go for dark green. Okay. Disappointing, obviously, for them. No team likes to get wiped. They had the minority stake in the game from the very off, along with 2 other teams that we identified with, a small stake in the game. But we pretty much called this early on, let's face it. 10 minutes into the game, they were heading in a very downwards trajectory. Being squeezed between red. They were only pushing one way, red. And when you've got red and clearly sky blue as well, and your little old you in the middle, your percentages go in the backwards direction. We could all see it was going to be a bit of a wipe at some point. We called it quite early, so it's not a surprise. They've not been the best team this season. I think it's more of a long-term issue rather than a short-term issue. Correct me if I'm wrong, and anybody disagrees, but I think they've had their time in elites where they were dominant, and that very quickly, swiftly flipped on its head, and ever since then they've been started to be pushed back rather than pushing forward.
Dark green.
Yeah,
They've never been dominant. Dark green.
they've had their periods
They've
where
gotten worse.
1-on-1 with another
Definitely.
team, they could dominate another team and push forwards.
Don't know about that.
I definitely do.
I think we'll have to agree to disagree on that one.
Especially in the last two seasons, season 6, they did very well against Orange. 1v1, 8v8. Orange were very scared about facing Dark Green at one point. They would get pushed back if it was just them versus them.
I think
If
undoubtedly
you
what we
put
both
the
agree with,
same
they've definitely got
situation
worse.
against any team now, they're not the same team anymore. The strategies aren't the same. It's not been a great season for them, clearly. The game kind of highlights it. We called this was a wipe from the first 10-minute mark.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we've spoken about them pretty much every game. I don't think our point has ever changed, and I
Some core
totally
functional
agree.
things that need to change to make this a core competitive team.
Yeah,
I don't quite know what that is.
Well, they need that. They need that really experienced player who can.
I mean, if you
who's
put
got
this
some
in
leadership and some strategy skills. Who
yeah,
can
if you
come
put
in and
this in the
show them
context,
what's what.
in the context of their core functionality, their base functionality, they had some great layering going on. It was probably the best layering we've seen of any team we've looked at in this particular game, because it was very tight, it was very packed. But by that time, it was already too late. There's no targeting that I'm seeing going on. You have to put the blame at their own feet and not other people's. It's a team effort to lose this bad.
Yeah. Shall we go on to the next place? Lime green hero.
Okay, so this was a game where it just kind of flowed for them. They tried to do everything in their power that they could to keep the land, and eventually they went after that hill push, which actually went to be quite impactful there.
Yeah,
because
probably stopped Red from getting it.
Yeah, stopped Red from getting it, which was a great move out of them. And, I think that it wasn't a completely great game out of them just by judging how it all went down. I think they could have done some things better, but the orange fight kept them up all game. And I think that's just how it went for them. We didn't pay attention to them very much during the game, but that's what I observed.
And shall we move up to purple? I'll take purple. One thing that I will say is we've heard in chat from one of the players on purple that their teledig wasn't disturbed by us. Apparently, orange caught it, which is why it was a bit disappointing. So that's what happened there. It had nothing to do with us.
I don't quite believe that because we literally saw it at the very start.
I don't think it had been 7.5 minutes, which is why I wasn't 100% sure, to be fair. I don't think it was.
No, I think they caught
minutes.
it before they probably they saw the stream.
Yeah,
we
exactly.
Definitely saw it before they did.
Oh no, exactly, no. But like before it was on stream because of a 7.5 minute delay.
Oh, that's
I think
good
orange
to know.
caught it.
That's good to know.
Is what I'm hearing.
That's good to know
from purple. I think one thing that we should say is they had a troubling start, similar to orange. They had a troubling start. They really struggled to really do anything. Felt like they were fighting Sky Blue pretty much all game. Never really gained anything. Sky Blue, same thing. Never really gained anything. And it was only at the last sort of 10 minutes where they gained any percentage from the start, and that was against orange with sneak attack. and they were very close to gaining on Orange. You can see this year that probably would have been enough, I reckon. So yeah, I think it's been very up and down for them this season, and they should have definitely be investigating as to why. My thoughts as to why, it's hard to say. I think they're probably, if we look at some of the stats, the season stats, wherever they are, if I look at the season stats, they're first on kills, and they're pretty good on deaths as well. So maybe it's a strategic thing. Maybe they're just very slow at the start all the time, and it's more of a strategic thing as to what to do at what point. And that's why they're struggling, but they're very up and down. And the stats say that they shouldn't be so up and down. The stats are actually quite good. Are probably the best probably the best stats of anybody.
So is this just variance in your eyes then? Is this just probability just taking its
I
bad
don't
luck
think
approach?
so. I don't think so, because you have to remember, right? Every time they've done well, it's been because they've had a really easy game. And every
I
other
agree with that.
time they've been faced with any sort of challenge, they've really struggled. Do you know what I mean?
But that's not always been the case, though. They've
No.
come up against challenges before. So has something changed between then and last season, maybe, when they were kind of dominating things even when they were challenged?
The only thing I can think of is the format. The only
Potentially.
thing that I can think of is the format. I think that's what's changed. And maybe they've just not quite worked out what to do. That might be it. Maybe the other teams are planning their spawns and organizing their spawns far better than what Purple are doing. Which is interesting, because we actually, back in previous seasons, one of the things that Purple were known for was from set spawns being quite good, because they would get player speed and they would rush very early on, and they used to be quite good at that. But maybe that's their weakness now. When you forced other teams to get better at it, maybe they've gone a little bit worse. Just a hypothetical there, because they're a good team. Their stats say that they're probably one of the best teams. They get loads of kills and they don't get that many deaths. That's better than most of. That's better than pretty much every other team. Yes, they have got too many deaths this season, 100%. I think Orange are really the standard when it comes to deaths. I
think Red strategy is almost anti-Purple strategy at the moment.
In what sense?
In the sense that they're willing to gamble and big kind of large chunks and go where not many other teams have been before, in the fact that other teams would, oh, we're okay with this, this is the area we need to cover. Red are just pushing forward and forward and forward and forward. Not many have done that before, and people have got too relaxed to the situation that, oh, if they get too big, we can bite into them. But that's not happening this season. People aren't exploiting that.
Do you think Purple are missing Shadow? Shadow wasn't there last season, yes, but equally, maybe they just take a little bit advantage of the format and get a little bit lucky at times, maybe last season, and now we're seeing the loss of Shadow a little bit more.
I think maybe there's an element of they're on the same strategy to a degree of last season, and yet they haven't quite adapted to the newer teams and the impact that could have on their team strategies as well. So when you put a brand new team in, the mixture of players, new team, new players, old players, that can have even if they're opposite you on the map, that can have a big impact on your game, because they're choosing who they butt into, and you've got to make your choices as well. I think Purple are not necessarily making the correct choices for their style of gameplay. It would have been last season the best choices for them. I don't think it is this season.
No. Nope. I agree. Mr. Jack, do you want to talk about Orange, and then Hero, you can go for Sky Blue?
They were on the lower side of percentage to start with, so one of the three teams that had a similar slice of the pie Not one of the greatest. They had an uphill climb from the very start. To be fair, did well to overtake purple and maintain that going into the second half. It's going backwards for me, purple. Sorry, orange. It's not. They were a forefront of this season. They were going into this very, very strong, and they're by no means out of this season either. Points wise, they're still up there. They're still contenders. It's nowhere near as comfortable as they would like it to be. Strategy wise, I don't think there's much difference going on, except for they're not executing it probably as better as they were early season. They're not necessarily digging the way they needed to be, or the way they were early season. They were able to kind of take those chunks and push forward against teams. Now they're finding some heavy resistance against teams that have now found their footing. You know, Lime, for example, early season, early 3 games, you'd probably push into them thinking they're a nice, quick, easy area. And now you've got some competition. So now you need to think you need to think closely. Am I going for lime or purple? And that's actually a harder decision to make than on the face of it. Yeah, it's not going to be an easy win for them for the season for sure.
Mm-hmm. I echo that. I definitely echo all of that. I just think on a one-on-one, they're superb, but I think their strategies are a little need to advance. Their attacking strategies, their ability to get kills, all needs to improve. But
the fundamentals are clearly there.
Absolutely. Well, the fundamentals in building and in defense, 100%. But some of the fundamentals, or at least what I would consider some fundamentals in attack, aren't there. Like timing your bullet stat, targeting the weakest player that you can see at the time, the one that looks the most exposed. Don't necessarily see that from Orange. And I think that reflects in the amount of kills that they're getting.
I do kind of agree with that.
They're 5th to dark green.
I do kind of agree, but there's still little screen time that we've paid attention to see that. The one pattern I can see though, and it's got to be a clincher for them, is that I still can't see a poly in the game.
100%. But we said this. I definitely said this a few. Was it the previous week when we saw that Palinka got added to the team sheet? I was like, that's gonna make a big difference.
Yeah,
Palinka's one of the best hybrids in the game, and one of the things Orange have missed is kills. I thought Palinka was going to make a really big difference, and we've just not seen them yet. So maybe that'll be a bit of a plus point and make a big difference for Orange when we see them.
Maybe it's a hidden weapon they're keeping for the last couple of games when Poly's available. I don't know. It's just I can't disparage against the consistency of the results versus the lack of Poly.
Yeah. No, agreed. Shall we, Hero, thoughts on Sky Blue, who came second?
You've waited for this for a long time, and just look. Their base layered to the brim. Well, except for maybe a few sections. Their expansion, they got stuck next to purple and dark green, but red took care of the dark green part. I think the game went pretty well for them. They were fighting purple for most of the game, and even though it seemed like a back and forth, I think that they got the upper hand on them pretty middle of the fight, maybe. They got more land as time went on, and eventually when they went for the hill fight, we kept seeing they helped prevent red from having that perfect game, which isn't like a lot, but it's enough as to where you could not count yourself out of contention for the season. And the base pretty stacked up. They've got a bunch of stuff ready, and they gained 3% on purple there during that whole fight, which that was really good off of their part. The layering of the base, really good, and Asterix is just saying that they clapped purple, but that might just be an ego thing. I have no idea. But
They
yeah, really
definitely
good.
didn't.
It's an ego thing. Don't worry.
They
It's an
definitely
ego
didn't.
thing. Don't worry about it. But we saw him in there. We saw him frontlining the hill, and eventually, even after he died, he came back in and just held. I
But
think
equally, we saw that he was going to die. We called that a minute or two before it happened as well.
Yeah, it was
The
coming
danger
for
was
quite a
there.
while.
However, one could argue from his point of view that it was kind of necessary for him to at least go for it.
They were doing what they needed to do.
I'd have done what he did. I'd have put my life
There
on
was
the line for that.
There's nothing wrong with what he did.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
yeah.
No, absolutely. We're just pointing it out from Red's perspective.
Mhm.
They look exposed. Go kill them.
But even
But from
But
Sky
even
Blue's
though-
perspective, it's what you want to see
Yeah.
when you're trying to go for a call. Sorry,
But
Kevin.
even though that Asterix died there, it still doesn't negate the fact that he held for a very long time and then just came back in there and went on it.
No, exactly. He did exactly what he needed to do there. He was a bit dangerous. It's a bit too borderline, but you needed to be in that position to take the cough. It didn't work out.
They held
But
it for a bit.
they got there. They just needed to have then maybe pulled Asterix back a bit and stop being dangerous at that point and start securing the area around it. I don't know how that happens. I'm not in the game. I'm just speculating at this stage. It's so difficult from their point of view as well. But supremely well done. I mean, from Sky's point of view, I've never been their biggest fan on previous seasons. They've done so well this season. It's kind of hard to criticize them.
Been a massive improvement this season.
Massive.
I still think they're getting way too many deaths. Again, they're 5th place on deaths with 73. Next, and only behind them is Dark Rain. And their kill, they're actually one of the only teams to have a negative KD. So while their stats are quite poor,
it doesn't
the
reflect
eye
the score that
test
much.
is different. The eye test is different. They seem to just get they get quite good spawns. Their spawn today was pretty good.
I'm with them. I don't give a shit about kill death ratios or anything like that. If you're gonna die, make sure it's worthy. Make sure you're doing it for a reason. Make sure you're doing it in the best place, that it doesn't sacrifice your team at that point in time. And if you have to put yourself in a position where you're gonna likely die, make sure that the percentages are there on your favor. I think they're kind of taking that on board a little bit. They've got some good stacking. They've got some good players that are able to capable of playing well together as well. The base looks great.
Yeah.
Their area from the very start looks great as well. They're stacking upwards. They're a one to watch for this season, I think.
Yeah. I think good from spawn, and I think that has made a really big difference to them. I think good from spawn, decent on strategy, and I think that is kind of what's carried the rest of the team. And I think it makes a big difference. Right. Shall we go?
They've maintained it as well. I just want to put that out there.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Shall I take on Red? The winning team.
I forgot we had another team.
Of today. I hadn't. I'm just going to throw this out there. From some interesting, again, from the stat person. I believe they only had one death today. Which
was a disconnect, right?
I think was DF who got killed. I think that's I think that's their only death of today. Which I believe again you're gonna have to double check this, but I'm pretty sure this is accurate. They are the second team. Sorry, not even true. This is the second occasion where a team has only had one death in a game. The only other occasion that I'm aware of is in the first game of Game 5, where it was a similar sort of scenario to this. Miles ahead, great spawn, 10% clear. All you have to do is reinforce and make sure you don't make any mistakes. Same sort of situation. So massive props up to them for only having one death. And I would also go as far as to say that one of the main issues that they've had this season was while the strategy's been good, they've been really good offensively. Some of the kills, some of their death, amazing offensively, yeah. Some of their deaths have kind of let them down from being a really top tier team. I think the difference between them being much better than Orange is the deaths. There's the only difference, really. The only difference between them and Orange is.
And
Orange,
so when they start curbing those deaths, they're wow, unstoppable.
I think if you're trying to give points for Red to improve, it's firstly if they can keep up getting somewhere between 1 and 5 deaths each game, that's kind of the medium that you want to be. Ideally, you want to be pushing 3. If you want to be a truly top tier team, about 3 deaths a game is more or less where you want to be. But I think as long as you're getting less than 5, that's still really good. So I think on average, it's a bit high. And their layering is not good enough. Their layering, while they have layered, it's messy. It is messy. So I would say if they can improve that, if they can improve the layering and the depth and kind of keep them up, they are a genuine top tier team. And by that, I don't think there really is a top tier team this season, because in the sense of, while Orange, they're great on death, they're great at defending, they're not very good at attack, and they've got weaknesses there. Purple seem to be kind of very up and down. Sky Blue are they've got good strategy, good layering, but far too many deaths and not enough kills. So they're not really there. But and neither are Red just yet. But Red they can just fix their deaths and the reinforcing, and they're definitely a top tier team and one to remember. If they manage to win this season, 100% one to remember. There haven't been too many top tier teams in recent years, but it could be one if they manage to fix it.
I will say that this strategy on paper should never have worked. I mean, going into this game with, in the first 10 minutes, having 20% and being able to sustain that, not only sustain that, but grow it up to 30% within the next 10 minutes after that. So within 20 minutes, you got 30%.
Yeah.
It's a ridiculous amount of area to be able to sustain and reinforce and then grow from as well to 35%. It's ridiculous.
They never really got pushed. They never really got challenged this game, which is again probably why they got only one death, right? But at the same time, still.
But this is where we look at the perceptions of elites and which team do you want to target versus do you not want to target based on their the veracity of hey, should we push into this team versus that one? Yeah. Now, if you were Sky Blue and you had Purple versus Red, and Purple, bear in mind, are 2-time season winners. Hey, I'll be pushing to Purple, 100%.
Yeah, you would definitely favor Red. Sorry, as in you wouldn't want to touch Red.
No, exactly. I'll be bordering them. They're the scary team right now. They've turned things around, and that's amazing how they've done that as well.
100%. 100%.
Any team that was able to complete 20% from the off and maintain it is doing something right, because that's, in my eyes, it's normally, on average, it's overreaching. And yet, prove me wrong. They just have.
Yeah. No, they had a relatively easy game after the first 15 minutes. relatively easy from that perspective. They never really got challenged. They reinforced their base, try and make sure that if there was a challenge, it would have been fought off. It wasn't as reinforced as it could have been. This could be way neater. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I'm not going to count, but
Red have never had a neat base. Never.
No, that is for me. It makes a big difference.
Even season 5, season 6, they've never had a neat base.
I don't know about
always
that.
Been large.
From a density perspective, there could be 3 times the amount of layers.
Andy, I could point out many games where you were captain and it was even worse than that. I can categorically say that it's never been. Red are categorically the same on average on their base building all the time, and that's kind of what I expect from them. It works for them sometimes, it doesn't other times. When people want to push them, it's a lot easier to push them because they're not as you're not as dense as other teams. Yeah, sure, the borders are great and stuff like that. That's fine. Inside, not so bad. But look at these loose triangles all up there and stuff like that. That's always been Red's way. Always.
Whether it always has or hasn't, it's still a big point to improve for me. Still a big point to improve. They don't necessarily need to improve on that point in order to win this season. I don't think that's what we're saying.
I disagree.
Well, we're just picking points to improve.
I disagree. I don't think it's an improvement. I think the reason they do that is for a good reason. I think that they're capable then of not being perfect on their layering to the point that they're still scary, and they're then able to sacrifice the time they're spending on layering on doing other things as well.
Yeah, but the point is they've still spent the time to layer here. They've just not done it to a high quality.
But if they're doing it to a higher quality, they've got less time to spend. So they could pack in 7 layers into what you're on your screen now. How many layers is that you would say?
What, here?
Yeah, let's say that.
1, 2. How many layers are currently there?
How many layers are currently there versus how many could they pack in?
3, 4.
Oh boy, Andy's counting.
3, 4, 5.
It's worth it.
It's worth it.
6,
you think?
maybe. Is that 6?
You think, Jack?
Yeah.
7.
And you could probably double that.
8.
Really, if you tried,
9,
you could probably double that.
You could double to triple that.
You could double to triple that, right? But it still looks fucking scary.
No, I agree, but it does make a big difference, because especially when a team is digging that, you're making them take 2 to 3 times longer.
I think we're not even talking about Red right now.
Base.
We're talking about the difference between teams' play styles, and Red's play style has never been this way. Purple's has been always, and they've been packing those things in, and that's why they've been quite strong in previous seasons.
I disagree. I completely disagree. I think from an elite perspective, there is never an excuse to not have perfect layers. Mime spent nearly the entire. I'm not picking out any individual player here, but Mime spent pretty much the whole game reinforcing and layering. They had no rush. They could have spent the time to do this properly and to do this a little bit to higher standard.
I completely disagree, and I think he did a great job. I think look at what he's done. I think if a team was going to push into them, and that would have been Lime, he's created a great springboard for them to be able to react from that before they got dug into too deep. I think if you look at that, compare it to Sky Blue is a lot more impressive than their base.
Yeah. I mean, without spending too long on this, from my perspective, if you make it much tighter and much more reinforced, it becomes much easier to, number one, hold it. Number one, to if you're getting attacked and you don't spot it, it gives you far more time to spot it before it gets out of hand. Number 2, once you do spot it and you get over there, it makes it so much easier to actually defend, because as a builder, you're able to sit a little bit further back, as in you're able to be more within your base and be surrounded by more towers and be deeper and be in a safer position when you're holding those towers. So if you're coming up against 2, 3, 4 players, you're going to feel way more comfortable against towers which are like this than towers like this. It's one
Whereas-
of the reasons,
Yeah.
it's the main reason why Orange are able to push as well as they are, because they have towers which are just much, much neater.
But Orange do
It
this
is
on the fly.
one of the main
Don't forget,
reasons.
we've been through this before in a couple of last games. Orange are pushing their towers and they're densely populating them because they're creating that area on the
Oh
fly.
no, absolutely.
Whereas
Absolutely.
Red, I see as an attacking team. And so I respect the fact that they're sacrificing time by reinforcing their area and not so densely packing them full of towers. Actually, just make it a little bit sparser, a little bit tighter, just make it look good. And actually, we're going to spend our time attacking players so that people can't dig into us because we're attacking them. And it's a 50-50
but you
on
can't
this.
be in more than one place at once.
No, I agree.
If they were
That's the
focused on
gamble.
dark
That's
green,
the gamble. That's where it could have gone completely wrong for them. And I said this earlier on, half an hour into the game, this could have gone completely wrong for them because any team could have dug into them and they would have been fucked. Gone.
but that's the thing, right? If like they were on dark green and lime green decided to attack, what are they going to do about it? Yeah, they've spent all this time layering it, but it's grand scheme of things, it's not going to make that much difference.
But that's Andy. That's why.
Which is the problem.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that assessment. That's why, though, that they've not stormed away from this season by doing this strategy. That it has gone wrong for them on some games. This game and the last game before that has kind of gone right for them in their play style. They haven't changed their play style.
I get that, but I think that there's still far more to gain by being a tiny bit slower to reinforce, but far more effective.
I think
Because
if you
in
do
the
that,
long run, it will help you. It make
think-
it make defending so much easier.
yeah.
And if you have to switch to a different team and push, it'll make that easier as well.
I think if you do that, you're telling Team Red not to be Team Red anymore.
Well, I'm not telling them what to do. I just think it's an improvement for them. So I guess kind of I'm telling them what to do.
They've got some improvement.
But it's up to them. I think that's the thing that I would be looking at. Hey, you could do. You could specifically get somebody to have player speed
Could you just
as
say
a superpower. Get somebody to have player speed as a superpower, and get somebody to have more player speed if you want to counteract the fact that you're now forcing your team to have higher quality layers in exchange for more time. You can counteract that, but it's something I would be thinking about if you're Red.
We could talk about this forever.
We could talk about this for
argue
20
about
minutes.
this forever.
We could.
We'd all
We're
be
gonna
wrong.
We're gonna have to call it there. Right. What a game. When is the next game?
Yeah, good question. The next game
That's
is
like December. It's December 3rd, I believe.
2nd.
The 2nd? Oh yeah, Saturday. I forgot. I'm dumb.
Where are you?
December the 2nd. Right. Next game.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. We shall see you all then.
We have a break. Well done.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Adios.
Love you, Vane.